Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Chiefs win. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Great, excited to be back in the league.
You know, every day I got the Three Stooges in the studio with me is a good fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So let's make sure he gets that bag.
Frauds, frauds! Woo!
Justin's way ahead in picks. That's all that you need to fucking know.
Show's over.
Show's over. We're going home. I would like to welcome you back to another page of the Playbook Sports Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 32 NFL offseasons in 32 days. Yesterday, we talked about the Houston Texans offseason. Today, let's talk about their rival. Let's talk about my buddy Bobby, his team, the Indianapolis Colts. Looking back at last season, obviously that was a tough season because clearly I think the Colts came into the year with some serious aspirations of being a contending team. They have a strong roster. They went out and got Matt Ryan, who they thought still had some juice in him. I mean, Jim Irsay, Chris Ballard, they're out here calling him, he's a Marine. He's a Navy SEAL. This guy will not let us down. They ended up benching him at some point in the season and not playing him. They stuck true to their formula, again, of bringing in an aging vet quarterback and hoping that he could return to 5 years ago form. And once again, unfortunately, it did not work. Instead of leading this strong roster to the playoffs, Matt Ryan was benched, Frank Reich fired, and they wound up with the fourth worst record in the league this year, second worst in the AFC. Talk about a disappointing season. That being said, sometimes you have to burn down something solid in order to build something great, and I think that that's where the Colts are at right now. They're at the start of building something great. Let's talk about it. Let's start at the top. Let's start with the coach again. I love the hiring of Shane Steichen for this team. Look at what he's done around the league, and you will see success everywhere he's been. Let's just go back a few years when he first became QB coach of the Chargers. For 4 seasons, in those 4 years, Phillip Rivers ranked second in yards, fourth in completions, and fourth in touchdowns with Shane Steichen as the quarterback's coach. That's fantastic. Then promoted to full-time offensive coordinator in 2020, and he obviously played a serious role in the early development of Justin Herbert. Then hired on as the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia, where he helped develop Jalen Hurts from a second-round project/reach quarterback into an MVP candidate, and created obviously the best rushing offense in the NFL that we saw all season long. I genuinely love the hire, and you'll really see why I love the hire when we get to the draft, as you all know. I also like the low-key additions of Samson Ebukam, who will step right in to replace Yannick Ngakoue. And then I like Taven Bryan on the defensive line, too. And then on the offensive side, Isaiah McKenzie and Gardner Minshew are no slouches. Gardner Minshew could be the starter week 1. I doubt it, and I would think it would be a mistake. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. I think you got to start your rookie quarterback. But Gardner Minshew is a very, very solid backup in this league who can win you games. As far as losses go for the Indianapolis Colts, obviously, 4th worst team in football last year, not a ton of losses that could be counted as key losses. However, losing Stephon Gilmore is tough because he's definitely a captain on any defense he plays on, and he is a solid corner who has done it a lot. But the Colts are at the start of a rebuild, and Gilmore's an aging corner. It makes a lot more sense to send him to an actual contending team like Dallas. I don't mind them losing him. It also does sting just a little bit to lose Yannick Ngakoue, who I think they replaced well with Samson Ebukam, and then Bobby Okereke as well. But you're hoping to get Shaq Leonard back at some point to kind of revamp that linebacker room. So as far as losses go, I don't see a ton that makes me think, ooh, that's going to hurt outside of Stephon Gilmore. But let's talk about their draft. I went in to the 2023 NFL draft with my mantra that I stole from the movie Draft Day. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's entertaining, unrealistic, but very entertaining. My mantra was Anthony Richardson no matter what. Much like, I think it was Vontae Mack, the linebacker in the movie. Chris Ballard, well done. I would like to give you a round of applause, my friend. You beautiful son of a bitch. You made the pick of the night, in my opinion. It would have been so easy to try and trade up and get C.J. Stroud. Or when he went off the board, maybe the Colts trade back and pick up more picks. Instead, he stood pat. He stood strong, and he said, I'm taking Anthony Richardson. He stuck to his guns. He stuck to his board where he had AR at the top, and I absolutely love that pick. I think this kid's going to be special, you guys. I truly, truly believe that. If I'm hitching my wagon to one horse of the quarterbacks drafted in the first 2-3 rounds of this draft, it's this man's horse right there. Give him some time, please, to work through these growing pains. Chris Ballard, I think you're super smart in what you did with this draft because you bought yourself even more time. Jim Irsay is an impatient man who wants success. You bought yourself a few more years with this draft pick because everybody knows Anthony Richardson might need some time to figure it out. And Chris Ballard can very easily point to that if they struggle this season and say, well, we need to give the quarterback some time. He's going to be great. I made the right pick. He just needs time. Absolutely bought himself some time. That is a fantastic pick at number 4. Absolutely love that pick. I cannot wait to watch him play. Outside of the Anthony Richardson pick, it really seems like Chris Ballard got a hold of the RAS list, the Relative Athletic Score list, which lists out the best athletes based on their peers. And he just took that list and converted it to his big board and said, yeah, these are the guys I want. Because they just drafted the most athletic guys possible. I love their first 5 picks of this draft. Draft athletes and coach them up. That's the secret, in my opinion. Julius Brents, freak athlete at corner out of Kansas State. He could be an absolute shutdown corner. I want to say he's 6'2". He's got great size, great athleticism. Just coach him up. Josh Downs is going to be awesome underneath for Anthony Richardson all season. That connection, you guys, is going to be absolutely lethal because he's going to run those short to intermediate routes, and he's going to be open because the guy is super athletic. If you're a PPR fantasy guy, give him a look late in your drafts this year because I think he's going to be really good. Blake Freeland, offensive lineman out of BYU. You guys, they refer to him as the Dancing Bear. Dancing Bear because he is massive. He is 6'8", yet he is so agile and quick on his feet that it reminds them of a grizzly bear they are shockingly athletic. And then Adatome, I'm going to mess up the first name, Adeboare, considered a late first, early second round pick, and they got him in the 4th round. Talk about an absolute steal. I love this draft class. I genuinely love it. I think it's my favorite draft class in the entire NFL, and we'll get into that more as we go. Obviously, I love the Bengals draft class. They got an A+. Here's my second A+. A+ for the Indianapolis Colts. Chris Ballard taking home run swings. He's not trying to bunt single. He's not trying to go the other way with the pitch. He is taking daddy hacks, and I absolutely love this draft class. A+ for the Indianapolis Colts. Well done. Let's get into their offseason grade. I like what I'm seeing, you guys. I really do. I love the hiring of Shane Steichen. He's coming in with a clear vision, and he's showing us what he wants to build. A run-first team. They're going to run the ball all season. Anthony Richardson is going to run the offense so well with Jonathan Taylor as his running mate back there. That read option is going to be nasty. Good luck picking one because neither of them are going to be easy to bring down ever. Chris Ballard, like I said earlier, decided that this was the offseason of home run swings. He decided to buy himself some time. Brilliant. Tell Jim Irsay, listen, pal, I need a couple of years to get these guys to develop, and then just watch. This could be the best draft class we've had in decades. You know, maybe the Colts could have just sat there and said, let's sign another vet quarterback, and let's just run it back again and see if we get lucky. Maybe we'll get lucky and win 8-9 games, and maybe we'll sneak into the playoffs. But that was your ceiling, Indy. That was the ceiling. 6 to 8 wins, in my opinion. Now the ceiling's limitless. There is no ceiling. The ceiling does not exist with a draft class like this and starting this offseason. I will say I give the Colts for their offseason an A- because their free agency class is lackluster. But damn if their draft isn't the best draft of anybody in the 2023 NFL draft. I mean, that is such a hardcore A+ that it brings up everything else around it. I cannot talk about this draft class enough. I absolutely love it. Good for you. Well done, Colts. Super excited about it. As far as what kind of team this will be this upcoming season, Anthony Richardson's a project quarterback. Yes, there's reports coming out recently that maybe he's more polished than we think and he's not as raw. I don't know about all that, guys. He started 13 games in college. He needs time. He needs reps. They might struggle this season. I am imploring you, Indianapolis, do not give up on him. Do not give up on this vision if you start out slow this season. Let it ride. Ride through the rough times. It will pay off in the end. I promise you. They are going to struggle this season, but I don't think if you're a Colts fan, if you're a football fan, don't pay attention to the wins, losses column for the Colts this season. Pay attention to the growth that you see in these young, freak athletes that they just brought in. I think the Colts are going to mess around and be an exciting team to watch by the end of this season. Going into next season, we're going to talk about the Colts as a dark horse for the AFC South. Super exciting time, in my opinion, to be a Colts fan. I can't wait to watch it play out. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in for day 14 of 32 NFL offseasons in 32 days. We will be back at it tomorrow with day number 15.